kind of suit is this?
It's not a suit, it's you.
What the hell did you do to me?
When he wakes up and he realizes what he has become and what's left of him, he wants to die. And I think that's also a big portion of the story, is Alex sort of finding a way to find a will to live and to finding a way to still be of service.
You say you can save him, but what does that mean? What kind of life will he have?
RoboCop's a nostalgic film for me because I grew up with it and I loved it. But Jose Padilla is one of my most favourite filmmakers, and Gary Oldman and Michael Keaton, and you know, as soon as I met John Paul Rutan, I just was instantly fell in love with him, and have become very close with his mother and all, like, you know, and the cast and crew that were assembled. I just thought it was such a wonderful recipe for a remake of a film like this, because these things can go either way, you know what I mean? Yeah. And I just thought, if I'm going to do something like this, this is the one.
Americans don't want a machine. They want a product with a conscience. They want something that knows what it feels like to be human.
He is determined to stick to his vision, and he isn't really going to let anyone stop him. And at some point, I think he crosses the line. But right up until he hits that line, mostly he's right. You know, it's a corporation, and he's not stupid. You know, he not only digs the technology and believes in the technology, he knows he's got to market it. Yeah. You know.
The software sends the information to the brain. Then the brain relates this to the AI module.
You know, a year later.
Our computers finished the job. Raymond, you wanted a man inside a machine, and that's what you've got, but the human element will always be present.
He's the conscience of the movie, and he's also the Dr. Frankenstein of the movie. I mean, he's inherently a good man and is lured or seduced by the corporation with funding so that he can continue his research if he gets involved with the RoboCop project. And because it is sort of really uncharted territory, they kind of know what they're doing. He knows what he's doing, but he's also sort of making it up a little as he's going along. And against his better judgment, they have a problem with RoboCop, but they need to they have a release date, basically. It's a corporation that has, you know, we've got to get a product out there on the shelves, on the street, and you've got to do whatever you can to fix it. So I think he's, you know, he knows, and so he goes in and tweaks around with Alex Murphy, and he knows that he shouldn't be doing it, and he knows that just ethically it is the wrong thing to do. I mean, he does take responsibility for it at the end, which I think is a very rare thing these days. So I thought I commend him for actually doing it. But he's a complex character. Yeah.
The biggest treat of making this movie, and you know, one of my biggest dreams coming true, to get to work with Gary Oldman, you know, and to get to do, you know, very dramatic scenes together where we're completely locked in. You know, not in my wildest dreams would I have thought that this would ever happen to me. So, and it was also, you know, a lot of those scenes that were the most difficult and emotionally challenging for me, particularly because I was, you know, in the scene where Dr. Norton shows Alex what's left of him, and I need to portray the most excruciating, deep, existential anxiety that ends up with him wanting to kill himself. And I have to do that without using my body and keeping completely still. And that really raises the difficulty level, because as an actor, you really want to use your body, because that's how you access a lot of those feelings. I didn't have that luxury, but then I did have the luxury of looking into Gary Oldman's truthful eyes while doing it. So that made it a lot easier.
And he's one of the actors with whom I've always wanted to work, Gary. So it was great to be able to do scenes with Gary because he's so great. And then I saw the movie, the finished product, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. Even though you know what you're doing when you're in the scene, to see it in the context of the entire movie was really fun. His character is so soulful and caring, and at the same time, kind of practical. And I totally manipulate him. You know, I just work this guy.